on the treadmill, not eating enough carbs, using diet teas, but nothing works. Well, this feels like it's working. I can tell you about how I am in my 30s and in the best shape of my life, but why tell you if I can show you? Look at these lines on my stomach. Isn't that crazy? Now look at these lines on my face. I miss being young, guys. Here are pictures of me as Tubby me and Chinny Chin Chin. Yes, Chubby Chin was really fat and unhappy, but there was more to love of me because there was literally more of me. It took me 8 years to get my abs and to be this thin. If you're looking for a get thin quick scheme, you're probably in the wrong place. You can probably leave now. Don't worry, it won't hurt my feelings. Apparently, I'm supposed to tell you to like, comment, subscribe, even though you don't know anything about this video or if you actually like the content or if you actually like me. But please like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, on with the video. Focus on enjoying the fruits and vegetables that you like. If you're anything like me, your brain does not work, so make a list. Because it's hard enough to make any new habit work, so it's best to make a habit work that you enjoy. That way you're more willing to stick with it long term. And we're all thinking long term here. We're not short term thinking, okay? Not this water weight bullshit. Okay, here's a list of all the fruits and vegetables I like. Make sure to make a list of the fruits and vegetables you like. Next big tip is to meal prep. It allows you space so you don't have that many choices. When you meal prep and you know that you have lunch, dinner, breakfast ready, then all you have to do is open your fridge and eat it. Think of meal prepping as a way to make life easier for you to change your habits, which is already so hard because eating food that used to taste delicious versus the new food that's tastes slightly more bland than your old food is already willpower draining. On a consistent level, the best way to start and keep a new habit is to have a plan. Besides, meal prepping is healthier for you, faster in the long run, cheaper, and overall better for your well-being. You kind of just have to accept that we are all animals and we suck at making new habits and keeping good habits. So we have to try our best to plan in advance because we are just shitty at building new habits. I think we just all need to acknowledge that we're more like monkeys than we are like angels or saints. We would like to think that we're great at building new habits and growing as people and sticking to things like eating more vegetables and fruits. But let's be realistic, if we were all like that, we wouldn't have such an obese world. But we're not. It's easier to choose the unhealthy option because life is suffering and we want to enjoy our life a little bit. Choose a day, I would say Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. You buy your groceries, you meal prep everything, and then you know that you have lunch, breakfast, dinner for the week. You don't even have to do the whole week. You just have to do like 5 to 6 days a week where you have consistent food that you know you're gonna eat and it's stuff that you like. Yeah, it's healthy stuff, but again, you like it enough that you'll still eat it. Then you're more likely to stick to your diet. Especially because you made it yourself. You feel like you put a lot of love into those healthy choices. You're more likely to eat them because you're kind of proud of what you make. I digress. Water. Drink a lot of water. Your body confuses hunger and thirst all the time. Drinking water is 0 calories. It's good for your body. It helps you lose the water weight actually. You don't retain a lot of water because your body knows that you have water. It's kind of the same with like dieting. If you diet and starve yourself, your body keeps on the fat and it slows down your metabolism. And then when you get off your diet because you're starving anyways, you start to get fatter. So dieting is not good for you. You have to find something that's sustainable and long lasting. And the best thing to do is to eat more vegetables and eat more fruits. To just season the shit out of those things. I wouldn't say season the shit out of it. Add some flavor to your vegetables and it still tastes just as good. Okay, sorry, I digress. I'm going back to water. Yeah, so most people believe that they're hungry when they're actually really thirsty. So if you drink a lot of water, then you'll know the difference between being hungry and being thirsty. I would add oranges to my water or strawberries, or I even have like the frozen raspberries and then I add that to my water. That's very yummy. With lemon and raspberry sounds really good. Or lemon and strawberry, or cucumber and mint, or mint and lemon. There's like so many variations on water. It's just water, but if you want to do something to like spice up your water, then you should try it. It's very good for you and delicious if you add shit to it. Yes, I digress. Anyways, no matter how you drink your water, just add water to your life. I swear to God, you'll lose so much weight and you'll keep the weight off. And it's good for your immune system so you don't get sick. Oh, and I think it helps you clear up pimples. I don't know, it's just all win-win-win. Who doesn't like win-win-win? I used to give so much power to the scale. The scale is not your friend. I know you like it because it shames you, shames you, shames you and then it makes you want to not eat food. You think that's good because it keeps your figure, but it's not. I mean, think of all the things I just said. Shame is not good for you. When you weigh yourself on the scale, you either lose weight and you're happy for that day, or you gain weight and you're miserable for that day, or you stay the same and you're still miserable for the day. So I would highly recommend not giving your power to the scale because it's not good for your mental well-being. And also, you're more than just a number on the scale. And you're also, to that point, you're also more than just a number of your age. Says the 30-year-old woman. I mean, if you were like a 17-year-old, you could probably troll me and be like, you're old. What I learned is that you just have to trust the process of getting healthy and eating lots of healthy foods that will give you energy, and somehow that will eventually obtain where you want to be. Once you know that you're on the right path and you do the right thing, the hardest thing, people know all this information, you know, like we all know that we should be eating healthy, we all know we should be eating fruits and vegetables, whole grains, blah blah blah, you know, like nuts and like healthy fats. We all know this, but something's in our way. Once we accept the reality that we have to eat healthy food and we quit doing all those yo-yo diets and all those terrible things, instead of starving ourselves, and we enrich our bodies with healthy food, then your sustainable long-term weight loss begins. And you become like more alive. Gives you so much energy, and that's a beautiful feeling. Anyways, so yeah, just throw away the scale. You don't need it, girl. You're way more than just the number on a scale. Okay, next thing. So I'm on a low meat diet. Now I don't say this will make you lose weight. It depends on who you are. If you enjoy meat, that's fine. I eat a lot of tofu and beans and sometimes eggs, legumes. The bean area, I'm on a low meat diet. I'm like 80-20. So then if I'm out at a party or if I'm going on a date with my husband, I'll enjoy meat. That's what she said on her date. But if I am at home and meal prepping my own food, I eat a lot of low meat products. And to all the vegans and the meat eaters in the world, I feel like we're all on the same side, but we don't know it. There should be a middle path. Vegans have this reputation for having a stick up their ass because they need more meat in their life. And I feel like they're so attached to this principle that they want to obtain. They want to be so idealistic, but they suffer because they don't allow themselves to enjoy life more. And so they have a stick up their ass. And so they like are very high and mighty and judgmental. So then they cause a lot of suffering to other people. Like if you think compassionately about the people who do have a stick up their ass, they are also in pain due to the stick up their ass. So I would highly recommend if you feel like you have this shadow side and you miss eating delicious food. Meat is delicious, whatever, I'll fucking say. Like I would have a steak with some onions and some wine and I would be very happy that day. But I'm just saying, like, vegans should have a little ground for themselves to take care of their shadow side. And so eat some meat. I used to be very idealistic. I used to be like that. I don't think I judged other people, but I would get drunk and then have some meat and there would be shame the next day. Kind of like an in-closet gay person. That person would get drunk and then have sex and then be really ashamed of themselves the next day. But I don't think that's very healthy for vegans either. So I don't want to be an in-closet meat eater anymore. I want to be an out-of-the-closet low meat eater. So I can celebrate the fact that I do enjoy some meat. But I also want to be conscientious of the meat I eat because like a life was killed because of my meat eating ways. But also, I'm only human and meat is delicious. If it keeps me and the people around me to suffer less ultimately, then I'm okay with a little bit of meat. Instead of being high on your horse and keeping your judgment and whatever, maybe you should just have a little bit of sweet, fat, salt, meat, sex. We all have the shadow side, okay? So we either accept it and work with our shadow side, or we deny it and then in a way the shadow will take over our lives in some other way. And no one likes that.
Okay, it's editing din. Oh, I don't want to offend anyone here. Obviously, not eating meat is not the same as not being able to accept your sexuality as a part of your identity. Being homosexual and not being able to accept that part of you must be very hard. Being a vegan and not being able to eat meat is a completely different pain. Probably a smaller pain, but why do we have to compare pains anyways? I mean, I don't think it negates the vegan's pain at all. If anything, I feel like we don't have to compare pains. Like if someone's in pain and another person's in pain, just because it's in a smaller amount of pain doesn't mean they're not in pain. And if anything, we should just use both pains to unite us and know that we both are suffering. And that sucks for everyone. But it unites us because life is suffering, right guys? So yeah, instead of comparing pains and denying someone's tiny pain, maybe we could just connect over the fact that we're both in pain. And maybe we should just all have a little bit more meat in our lives. Literally and figuratively, if you know what I'm saying.
All right, enough about that. Okay, if you guys drink alcohol, I love myself a skinny mini, which is basically just soda water, alcohol, and lemon. Or I have whiskey on ice. I always try to stay away from Coke or soda because soda has a lot of sugar and it's poisonous. And if I'm going to poison myself, I might as well do it to have a social lubricant to deal with people. I read somewhere, I don't know if I read it in a magazine, some tween magazine, which always talks about makeup, fashion, or dieting, because we girls just think about the same 3 things, or how to keep a man when we could really use our potential for something else. Anyways, I read this either in a magazine or a book about dieting, and it said to eat healthy food before you go to a social event, because whenever you go to a social event, there is so much decadence. You almost never see a healthy vegetable platter. You'll maybe see one vegetable plate, and everything else is meat, carbs, or sugar. Anyways, I always at least eat an apple, if not a whole meal, before I go to an event, because you're also probably drinking. If you're like me, I would be drinking at these events. So my inhibitions are down. And if I was hungry, I would eat everything there. You go to way more social events than you actually believe. There's always something going on Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And then when Sunday rolls around, you're too tired to continue your diet. So it kind of like could F you up. So if you keep in mind that social events are to socialize and not to enjoy so much food, in my head I'm still thinking I'm having all my nutrition, and then at the end I still get to enjoy whatever I want at the event because I took care of my body already. So I eat all the non-delicious food first, so the healthy food, but it is delicious. If I have a salad, I'll eat avocados and corn, so it's really good, and I'll have salt and pepper with everything I eat, so there's seasoning in it. I don't know why people don't like vegetables. If you eat it with seasoning, it tastes just as good as, not as good as meat, but you know, comparable. So I'll eat my healthy lunch first, and then after that I'll have an apple because it's sweet, but then after that I really have my dessert or my treat. So you should eat the least delicious food first, and then you're full, and then at the end when you're eating your candy, then you can eat it slower and appreciate it more without eating so much calories. I actually always eat my candy like with small bites. I think that's a really good tip. I think that helps me always take in as much nutrition as I can and still enjoy the food that I enjoy. You know, the dirty food, I guess. We don't have to call it dirty. The indulgent food. My next tip is to incorporate a lot of fruit into your diet. I eat a lot of fruit in the morning because I have a really bad sweet tooth. I think everyone has a bad sweet tooth, and we should just not deny the fact that we're all human and we love like simple carbs. And fruit has a lot of simple carbs in it, but it's like really nutritious as well. There's fibers and apples, there's like, I don't know. Let me pretend I know anything about the nutritious value of these fruits. Let's just say that vitamin A, B, and C, and D are in all of these fruits. I used to think that I couldn't have any sweets, and so every time I would like end up buying a bunch of sweets because I was sad or something, I had like less willpower that day, bring it home, eat a bunch of it, feel bad, throw it all away, and then start the cycle over again. But now, instead of doing that, I allow myself to eat a little bit of sugar every day. As long as I'm eating a really good 80-20 ratio, then I'm okay to myself. You know, like give yourself a grace, basically, which is a good segue. Allow yourself room for fuck-ups, because we are monkeys, but we have the ability to try to be more like angels. But we are still monkeys. I am still a monkey. I am still an animal. I like sweets and salty stuff and sex and rock and roll. We can't just control the shadow side and like tell it we have to be an angel the whole time, because that's not possible. We can't. We're just human. Instead of shaming ourselves for fucking up and not being perfect and making mistakes and not always reaching our goals, we can just accept and incorporate the fuck ups into our new long-term lifestyle. So instead of eating a bunch of shitty food and then shaming yourself for it, we can eat a bunch of shitty food because we're sad or whatever. You usually do it because you're sad or whatever. And then be compassionate because we're human and probably we're going through a bad moment, so we fucked up. Well, if you incorporate it into your lifestyle, then you allow yourself to actually enjoy your delicious food and celebrate the fact that you can eat this delicious food. You kind of work with your shadow side, and instead of trying to control your shadow side and suppress your shadow side, you accept that you have a shadow side and you allow room for it. So when you do that, you can enjoy the delicious food that you like to eat, and your diet can be pretty good enough. It can't be perfect. No one's perfect. If anything, celebrate the fact that you can enjoy your food that is decadent, because life isn't all about striving to be perfect. I think that would be a really hard life to live. Plus, it's so sad because you don't enjoy all the pleasurable things in life. So that's my 2 bits. Okay, that's it. I hope this was beneficial, obviously. I don't not hope that it was unhelpful, you know. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends if you think someone would benefit from watching this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.